Hello guys, another video. Welcome. I'm recording another video in English. Some chess games. Let's not make it too serious. It will be serious, but I'll try to make it fun and entertaining as well. I'm gonna continue with the Grunfeld Saga. So I'm just looking for a game that I've played to analyze where I've played with black. I think this is good. So I'm just playing a fianchetto over here again. Uh, and this is like a cage, like a cage of a tiger or a dragon, you could say, pink, pin. I'm cuddling it with the mouse, I said it's gonna be entertaining, so I'm doing it. This is like a tiger and the cage is with the pawns. So I'm tucking it away, it's sleeping, and whenever I'm moving the knight, I'm releasing the dragon or the tiger or whatever you want to call it. So he's controlling the center, and this is not really the Grunfeld, but I guess we can take stock of the ideas. And there's one guy, this Brian. Hello, Brian. If you're looking at the video, I'm glad. He wanted me to do some King's Indian defense, some videos, some coverage. So just straight up playing the King's Indian and then E5, just controlling the center again, step one. So step one is moving the pawns, controlling the center. Step two is developing the pieces. Okay, still doing step one. Kind of made a hole over here. He can take stock of it. He can put the knight, can put the horse over on d5, but I'm preparing to put my horse on d4. So that's the plan. That's the point. h6 to prevent bishop g5. I didn't really want to allow it. I could have allowed it, played knight c6, bishop g5, and then I just kind of asked the question of the bishop. If he came all the way here, he either takes now or just moves it back, but I gain a tempo, I win time, right? So that would have made more sense. I guess I just was a little bit lower rated, or I might have been just rushing. Because this was a blitz game, it was 3 plus 0, 3-0 or 3 plus 2. And it seems like I won this game. So I was playing up against the 2300. That was 2249. As I've said in the previous video, I'm mentioning it right now. Again, on Liches, it was played the game, and my current rating nowadays is 2400 in Blitz and 2500 in Bullet. In chess.com, I have 2500 on all formats. Anyway, this was in 2024, 4th of November. So bishop g5, he didn't play like this. Okay, anyway, h6, and now knight c6, he played a3. This is the typical plan. He just wants to kind of focus on the side over here. And I had a class with my student just earlier, and I've told him, hey, when after you finish development, after the opening is done, which is almost the case here, you kind of figure out like you want to figure out what to do next. So how do you do that? You come up with the how, how. That could be a joke in Romania. How, like the dog says. So you can look at the sides, right? Like, okay, let's make the arrow a little bit shorter. So this is the king side, this is the left side, this is the center, and can I make a different color? Oh yeah, there you go. And this is the queen side, this is the right side. So you pick a side and then you say, where do you want to play? Okay. So he's saying he wants to make progress on the queen side. So he wants to make improvement with the pawns. We come up with the steps again. So when you pick a side, you come up with the steps again. Step one, step two, and step three no longer applies because the king is already tucked away. The king is in safety, so he's in guard mode. So step one and step two. Step one is with the pawns, and step two is with the pieces. So step one, he moved the pawn to kind of move another pawn here on the side to make progress. Next he is doing step two to move the rook, right? So now I do step one to kind of prevent him, gain more control, and he plays on the other side as well. So you can combine the play, you just need to be careful not to be too destructive. And bishop to e3 now, I don't know why I did not play 94. Now 94 would be a good move, but I think I did it next. So I first hit his pawn, attack it, and then I play 94. So this is good, right? I'm controlling the center, I'm bringing it to an outpost and I'm just inviting him to take, but he plays f4. So now the logical continuation is to capture the pawn, takes back, and then knight h5. This is good because I'm releasing this tiger, the sleeping tiger, and now it's doing something at least. I'm protecting, overprotecting my knight over here, but my horse. But I guess he might have f5, which says white is clearly better. But I thought that I can just take. Oh, there's knight d4, I guess, somehow. Like this knight will be hanging. But I thought I had something like bishop e5 and then knight g3 or something. And this did even happen in the game, king h1, and I played gf. But don't I have a fork now? Or a knight g3? So black has a decisive advantage. He did it in the wrong order. I guess he had to move the king to g1. So then knight g3 wouldn't have come with check. So king h1 is actually a blunder. Watch this, because if he had played king g1, then gf, and then knight d4, now white has a decisive advantage. There's no more knight g3 with check, and when I take back, does he take back on h5? And yeah, I guess he will threaten to take on f5 and also to take on h6. And if I just capture to keep the fork, because he's up a piece, so I keep the fork to win my piece back. But then he can take here, I guess, or just give a check, or what does he do? Move the knight up. Okay, so saving the knight instead of the bishop, and then what? Coming here and then just destroying me, or queen h6 and then knight g5, or there just knight f6? Okay, I thought about this, and then rook f6. Oh, and rook f6 and rook h6, and it's all over. And bishop e4 comes. So even though I kind of try to, like in this alternative analysis, I can kind of keep the material balanced, but I just lose my king, so don't want to do that. But yeah, king g1 was the correct way, so I exploited the blunder. So I made a mistake, I guess, when I play knight h5, but what is slightly better either way, so it says that the best way I have to take, perhaps. I don't see any other way, because things are hanging, like f5 is on the cards, and I guess just queen d7 was a bad move. Queen e7 now, he can still go for f5, but then I can take, and this might be a weakness, and it might be alright now. I can play 97, 95 or something, but I have to watch out for 95. I can play rook e8, so it's a complicated position at the very least, so yeah. But yeah, I should have taken not to blunder this, so knight h5 was a mistake, and then f5, white is better. And here he made a blunder with king h1, and I capitalized on it. Knight g3 just saving my horse. cd4 with a fork. I have three pieces against three pieces. So, but I have a fork, so I'll win a piece. And also the rook here I can take. Um, and black has a decisive advantage. You can see over here. E takes f5. I take back to kind of guard my bishop. Knight comes into the center, and I think I can bring back my knight. He tries to make it tricky. He's down a full rook, believe it or not. I can block with the bishop. Knight f6, I just take it. And how do I defend this? I guess knight f5, right? The only defense. Hitting his bishop. He almost checkmated me. I almost freaked out. Rook f1, he wants to take my knight, but I just take his bishop and then I win the game. And that's it. That's over. Nice game. Let's look for one more. So that's the 338. Let's try to find more of a Grunfeld. Uh, Maybe I do it up until 45. So 7 more minutes. Okay, this is where I play with white. This is where I play with black. And I lost this game. I played the Grunfeld again. Let's see how I lost this game. Time forfeit, so it means I lost on time. I'm playing against the 2400. Usually, higher rated players, you'll see that they are very confident. They play fast. Play quickly. So there's this line on Bishop to F4. I think I've already covered it on the channel, but it doesn't hurt to reinforce it, to cover it again. 94. This is a very tricky line. If you take, you are lost with white. You did win a pawn on c5, and you're saying that I'm trading a piece, I'm easing up material. But look, if you play 94, there's e5, and I just win a piece. This is a fork. You might say, okay, but I just take, but I take back. Black takes back. Again, you cannot play 94 because of e5, and I fork you and I win a piece. If you play 92, there's bishop b2. You move the rook. If you play rook b1, just bishop c3, and I threaten the knight. So you might as well just play this to keep the horse, tucked safe. But I won my pawn back. I traded the pawn on b2 to the pawn on c5. The material is equal, and I will come up with the knight. Take this because it's a weakness. I can do bishop c3, I guess. If you play bishop to e2, I guess I can just play knight a6, and black has a decisive advantage even because you can never castle. This is always pinned. I'll just come up and win the game. If you unpin with king e2, at the very least I can take everything and then play knight a6, but I might just play f5, right? It doesn't show me the color. f5, and okay, black is better. Maybe there was a better move, but yeah, this is good enough. Anyway, enough theory. He played bishop to e5 and I thought f6 and I'm good. No? F Am I supposed to play f6 or not? White is clearly better. White is better, so I guess not. So I guess I have to take. Perhaps let's pull up the engine. This is the moment for the engine to kind of concretely give a note and give a side aspect. And you can see that black is already better. Equals over plus, so minus 0.3. So I have to take. This is the first line, and the second line is gives only almost equality. Knight takes c3. So I have two options here and only two moves, knight c3 and bishop takes c5. So black takes, let's say, because this is the most obvious, and then I have to take. Then there's a very big difference in the value aspect. Knight takes c3 keeps a small edge for black, just trading knights, compared to f6, which will give almost an advantage to white. So knight takes c3 and then b takes c3. You have to grab the knight again, and there are three moves over here. I can develop my bishop to e6. This is kind of common in the Grunfeld in this line, but there's again queens. So bishop to e6 is one, and then if cd5, I guess I can take back with the bishop, kind of hinder his development of his bishop. But what if he goes c4? I guess queen a5 or something. No, it doesn't even show queen a5. Queen a5 is bad. Queen d2, and he likes to trade queens and isn't up the position. So what about bishop to e4? Queen d8. But I guess bishop to e6 or bishop to e4, he gives a more liking to bishop to e6, and I don't know why. Maybe just to keep the pressure on c4. Here you trade queens again. I guess you have to play f6 and then knight f3. Then what happens? Bishop d7, really? Why do you play bishop d7? That's crazy. Oh, to kind of not face knight d4 so strongly. So knight d4 would be a strong threat uh, to kind of keep the bishop on the board and prepare e5. So if I play knight c6, then he can do also rook b1, right? And then rook d7 can do knight d4, I guess, and can take off c6. I would play bishop to f7, but it's not a good position. There's a plus for white. Sorry about that. That was just a misclick. And then just rook b2 over here, plus over equal, and white is better. So anyway, coming back to it, I guess bishop to e6, and then yeah, I've shown you what's good for black. Just you play bishop to d7 over there, and if there's no bishop to e6, there's also queen a5 over here, queen a5, and there's also queen c7 to hit the knight and the pawn. But I was wondering why not just queen d5, and just black is almost takes over the entire game with bishop to e6, queen e4 only move, because if you play queen d4, and this is also possible, but just I can hit the queen again. This is a target rook d8, and I win a tempo, and bishop to f5 exclamation mark, and then I guess queen a5. Wow. So you kind of need the engine for this, but if you look c1 here, I mean, I can take on a2, f6, and then e5. Wow, knight f3, knight f3. You can come up with the moves at the board too, but you have to be strong at calculation. Queen h6, let's see how black wins. Bishop to e4. And wow, this move is strong. Why? Because now I just take a pawn, and I don't let him castle because his bishop will hang. I just want to play knight c6 next and move my rooks and yeah, kill him basically. So let's show the game because I'm running out of time. But yeah, 'cause so in conclusion, you have to take on e5 and choose and take on c3 and then play either bishop to e6 or queen c7 or queen a5. So, but taking on e5 is the best. So f6 is a mistake. Rook takes d8, and you can see almost +1. Rook c1. Let's see how I lost the game. This is not the most accurate. This is the third line of the engine. He has to play c takes d5. There are two moves, either c takes d5 or queen takes d5, which are the best. And he keeps a better advantage. Now I played bishop to e6, and he can already win the game, but he did not. C takes d5 will win the game soon. What was my idea? I don't remember. I guess just taking, and they takes on d5, but it seems that white will be just win his up pawn on c5. Oh, there's queen d5. He missed this. But even bishop c4 just wins the game because you trade pieces and you keep being up pawn, and this bishop is kind of dead. There are a bunch of weaknesses, and that's it. Bishop c4, just positional play, plus 1.7, plus minus, and yeah. But queen d5 is very cute. Also, if there's one way to do it, this is the best way, and then bishop c4 to win the queen again. It's the same thing, you just do it in a different order. But yeah, c takes d5 was awesome from him. I played knight ac4, and now the game is back to being balanced. Bishop to f7, 0-0. I keep the bishop pair. I am threatening e5. I'm currently down one pawn. Okay, black is down one pawn. I have to play f5, which I did, and black takes over the initiative a little bit. I stay on knight b5, but this is a weakness. I'm gonna prepare to come up with the rook. Now the bishops are operational, so that's the difference within the game. Now I'm thinking about b6, or so I play rook f d8 in the game. a5 is strong. Wow, a5 to kind of undermine his pawn structure, and if even if I trade queens, then I will win back the pawns and just this target. So this is a key idea to remember, guys. Remember this if you ever play the Grunfeld or the King Zinnia or Benoni or whatever. Okay, just get a bunch of weaknesses in his camp. All right. So a5 just an amazing move. That's insane. Also f4. Wow, I wasn't thinking in aspects like this, like immediately attacking. I could have kept my rook over here. Look at these guys, and the king will become a target, perhaps, or at least trying to take the pawn, and maybe bishop h6 also come to mind. But yeah, so a5, f4, and rook a8 are top moves. I played rook fd8 on the positional aspect to like step two to develop, develop, develop. Now it doesn't drop the bar too low, but I could have exploited the position much better. E5 and now knight b5, and he's +2 because he is up in development. Now the only way to keep being up in the game was to play a5 undermine the game immediately, undermine the chain of pawns immediately, or at least try to. And if he plays knight b5 here, just trade the rooks first and foremost, and if he takes, he can take back with the queen or the bishop, which is good. But if he takes back with the queen, I guess just, oh, there's queen e5. And if he castles, then I have pressure. And if he takes, I can take on c5. Either way, I have pressure. And even black can take up an initiative. It's with a minus, 0 with a minus. And yeah, if he takes back with the bishop, I guess this pawn will become a weakness. I still can play queen e5, but queen c6 is even better. I have threats. I'm threatening to take on c4. I'm threatening to take on b4, and I'm pinning the knight, so whenever he moves, I will trade the queens happily, and he can cannot really keep everything in check. Like here, I would just take on c4, and suddenly black is winning. Black is just winning because his king will be up to, he will, his king is in the middle, and he will remain in the middle. This is the only way to defend. Wow, wow, queen d5. Wow, and I'm threatening to take, and then queen d3. I'm threatening basically that, and bishop to b5 with bishop c3. I'm threatening rook d8. If he takes back, I just take back on c4. I don't let him castle. It's just a massacre. And I know I forego. I underwent more time. So let's finish up this because I need to go to work. Rook takes d1, queen takes d1, queen e7, castles, rook d8. So yeah, he's just up a pawn here. H5. I guess I have to play f4, but then this structure is weak. So let's see if I had any more chances. But yeah, basically white is up a pawn. He has control. The bishops are kind of stuck. So that's how. So I even tried a cute thing here to kind of release my bishops. He took. Nothing bad happened to him. I took back one of the pawns. I thought maybe I have some bishop to e5, but there's nothing. Bishop to d3, just hitting my bishops. Yeah. And I even try an e3 to, to open up the position, but time forfeit, strengthening my queen. And the bishop. So the only way to play is to exchange queens, but then he'd be up the exchange and winning the game. All right, and this was the game. This was the video. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me make a big image to send the ending, the coverage. Guys, if you enjoyed, if you found it valuable, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, share it with your friends, share the video with your people, with your friends, with your relatives, with the people at the wherever you guys hang out, at your job, at your work. Hey, I'm into chess. At your school, if you guys are kids, you are children, you like watching me, share with your buddies, with your mates, with your friends, and yeah, drop a comment of anything. Ask me a question, share your favorite moment, and that's about it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya. Bye bye.